Hello people, this is Ryder here to review the Ultraman Arc Cube Telemaga version. So this was technically the first Arc Cube released, which was actually interesting, and the first for us, a Telemaga exclusive. To which I kind of wish I actually brought out the magazine. Can I do that before the battery dies? So as you can see right here, here's the magazine issue that this came with. This primarily introduced Boon Violet and Miracle Gotchard and such, but you gotta cut out masks. This is where these masks typically come from and such, but Telemaga is basically just similar to Televikun, but not as monthly and such. But like I said before, as you can see from here, this is the standard box that we get for these magazine packets and such, which it's pretty thick. We have Arc with the Ultra Eye, the Arc Eye Sword, and I think it's basically the same top and bottom and such. Again, it hasn't been opened yet, but you know, it just tells you the contents. Again, it tells you that the Arc Cube's included and such, so we'll open that eventually. This is, again, to state, this is the June issue. It just says 2024, but I'm pretty sure this was June. Alright, so here we have the Arc, or the Telemaga version of the Arc Cube out, and as you can tell, the biggest difference is that he actually has the Arc Eye Sword and the Telemaga logo right there and such. I really do like this illustration overall. It still does carry, like, look, that's so cool. Like, I want to know how they did that. Again, that's like such the coolest part of these stickers. And then like the gem pattern and such. As you can see right there, they are different illustrations. So instead of dashing forward, he is ready to swing his sword. And then, as opposed to the new generation cube that I alluded to last time, this one is not numbered. It is instead labeled as EX. So, yeah, again, because surprisingly this wasn't labeled EX, but this one gets to be labeled as EX. The button, it's the same as this. Basically, if it feels lighter, and if the button press feels pressier than that, because this basically has some restriction to it. I forgot to bring that up before. I'll probably bring it up later. Obviously, this is the same as this. Is just that now you don't have an obvious speaker, and obviously, you have a battery cover, but you don't have any batteries. And this one is B063. So oddly enough, it actually follows up after B062. Which is kind of rare for a sequence of pins to be released back to back with each other. Such, but yeah, so obviously this thing will not make any sounds on its own, but again, if you want to do that via sound editing. But yeah, let's use this with the Arcorizer. Obviously, we're going to transform like so. Again, really like how the white LED shines through this section. We're doing quick transformation. So there we actually have a built-in sound of the Arc Cube, but now with an additional phrase, which is pretty neat. And again, I think it's justified, as this thing does equally the same thing that this does. So basically, in a way, this one does more than the actual DX one. It's just that you get the additional sound of this thing activating, and then obviously this thing playing the sounds. Obviously, because it's lighter, or I guess more denser, it's going to shoot out more. Yeah, there's the overlapping sound I was talking, or the overlapping of audio. It just depends on your speed, basically. Again, it's really fascinating with this toy. I think we'll get to it in future videos and such. But yeah, that is kind of it for this key. Because I was going to bring up this thing. Because I was going to say, I think the reason why they made it so Arc Cubes, you have to really press really hard for them to activate, because you can't just like lightly tap it. You have to really press it. It's basically as if like you're basically doing a half hold for activating it. I think they're doing that to remedy the issue that was the issue with the hyper keys, where over time, because of how the hyper keys worked, where the gut spark ones, obviously the trigger doubles as like a button to press down those buttons. It wears it down over time, so a lot of your hyper keys will be just stuck. Like whenever you're just like going through like a sequence on like whenever you're just pressing, activating it, or if you're going through sound mode and whatnot, it would just randomly think that you're holding it down, and so then it'll just transition to the next mode when you don't want it to be. So then you have to like go back and like get to back to that mode and then go back into your cycling of sounds and such. I think that's basically why they changed up how this works, and also probably why they made it so that this thing, or probably why they changed it to an IR sensor as opposed to making the Arcorizer have like a button jut out as to like press the button. As easy that would have been, I think it's just, again, a lot more smarter of an idea for them to just do an IR sensor. But obviously that's not about this cube. I do think this is a really nice cube overall. It's, for me personally, especially for being the first Telemaga pack-in item that we get to cover, this is really nice. It's definitely interesting that they decided to choose Telemaga as opposed to just doing a like Mook or like Televikun. I mean, Ultraman hasn't done Televikun since Rube. I don't even think it was Rube, because I think Zero was a Super Televikun issue, and then both Trigger, like both Kaiju keys, were also like Super Televikun Mook, like playbooks. Zet never did any. Decker, I think, did do Televikun, I think. I know for sure Orb and Decker obviously did them because they were cards. But now I'm even doubting Decker. Blazer obviously did a Mook. Who am I missing? Zet obviously didn't do anything. And then Taiga. No, I think it was Taiga. But I thought Ultraman was old. I don't remember if Ultraman was a Televikun. Sorry. I don't remember if the Ultraman one was a Televikun release or if it was Super Televikun. But like, I digress. Like, this is my first Telemaga item and I don't mind it. Plus, honestly, again, I think this is a really reasonable release of an Arc Cube, especially for it being the first release. This is the first Arc Cube technically released, so I think it makes sense of just like to release a variant of the Arc Cube at the start and such, just to start the line, that just that extra oomph to speciality and such. And I think I have to say this too. Obviously, for this one, it came like this. You don't need to assemble this. Same with obviously this. These two are because again these two are practically DX ones, so you don't need to do anything with them. They just come in like this and ready to go and such. I feel like I talked a lot of nothing into there, so I apologize.